Just take a moment to settle in. Maybe rock out on your pelvis a little bit. Side, side. Front, back. And or circling. So you can settle in a place that feels rooted. Equally balanced through the four corners of the pelvis. And the spine can float with ease from your root. Shrug your shoulders up to your ears. Draw the shoulders back and down. Take a couple more circles or free-form shoulder movements like that, freeing up the top end of the spine. My goal for the spine generally, by the end of yoga practice at least, is to feel almost like seaweed that's rooted to the earth below water, but it's being drawn upwards. It's free to move. And bring your hands or your attention onto your low belly. We'll start to come into a full diaphragmatic breath. Breathe into the back bottom ribs. Relax your low belly out. Exhale, hug your low abdominals in. Inhale, expand the low back ribs. Relax your low belly. Exhale, hug soft low abdominals back into the belly. Continue to breathe like that. Inhaling, fan out back bottom ribs. Release low belly. Exhale, intelligently engage low belly. Continue. Ramp the chin back just a touch and imagine someone's holding the top tips of your ears, drawing you up towards the ceiling. Spine long and floating. Rib cage, abdomen free to expand from and massage towards the spine. Continue your diaphragmatic breath. Bring your hands onto your heart, one on top of the other. Inhale, back bottom ribs. Turn, twist to your right. Relax low belly. Exhale, draw low belly in, center. Breathe into back bottom ribs, twist left, soft belly. Exhale, draw low belly in, center. Inhale, back bottom ribs, twist right. Exhale, low abdominals, bring you back to center. Keep twisting side to side like that. Expanding the rib cage with your inhale into the twist. If your hips start to clench, feel free to straighten out your legs or change the way you're sitting, so your attention can stay close with the breath. And you're settling into ease in your body. Put the other hand on top and go to each side 3 or 4 more times. Chest can soften down a bit underneath your hands. Back of the spine is lengthening up. And when your rounds feel complete, relax your hands, straighten your legs out. Feel free to give them a little shake, or maybe your knees want some rubs. Your legs, your thighs, your calves want a little tapping. Flushing the energy, the circulation through your now decompressed joints. And by the way, you're welcome to visit these self-love practices at any point, especially between our poses. The energy we create in the poses, run it through your whole body. Let's come into a windshield wipe action. Feet on the floor, say mats width apart, hands behind you. If being on your hands, or even, I have a couch behind me, I could prop my elbows up if I wanted. If all of that's uncomfortable, lie on your back, that works. Take a breath to lift the whole rib cage up, lift your heart up. Exhale, drop your knees to one side. Inhale, center. Exhale to the other side. Take a few swishes like that, side to side, and they can grow as much as feels right for your joints. Sometimes really letting gravity have at you feels beneficial. And sometimes keeping the movement settled, but the breath dramatic is more effective. All right. Once your hips feel fairly circulated, if this is an okay position for you, drop your knees all the way to the right side so you're sitting on right hip. If that's not okay, sit with legs straight for a moment. I'll give you a different pose. Those of you who dropped your right knee out to the side, bring your left hand over to the ground by right knee, spiraling, maybe looking over right shoulder. And you're welcome to keep lifting up out of your hips, press your left hip forward, or maybe you want to rest down onto your elbows. Breathe down into your pelvis, and then breathe the length up the spine. If you are not sitting like that, then you might choose instead to sit with your right knee bent, foot on the floor, and come into a simple spinal twist. Those of you who are in more of this, somewhere along the way, I learned this as a mermaid's variation, but I have no idea where that name came from. But if you're in the mermaid shape, pull your left hip back to spin you onto your seat and over to the other side. If you're in the simple seated spinal twist, change legs. With each in-breath, find length. Exhale, root down through your tail. Nudge the right hip forward if that feels right to you. And same options, maybe lower down to elbows. Pull back on your right hip to bring you to center, and then over to the first side again. Knees drop to the right. We're going to move into a side bend. So if this shape isn't right for you here, come into a Baddha Konasana. Baddha Konasana A, pressing feet together, sitting as tall as you can, and stay tall. Return to the optimal breathing, inflating low back ribs, exhaling to pull low belly in. Those of you in the mermaids type shape, I'm going to rotate so you can see my hand. Walk your right hand directly out from your right hip. Bring your right palm to the ground. Left hand nudges the left hip back and down. Inhale, lift your chest up. Exhale, bend the right elbow in towards you to lengthen your spine to the right. You can lower down onto elbow if that's right. And then option to extend left arm over ear on this side stretch. Press your left hip forward into line. If you're not in the mermaid shape, you can choose cross-legged seat if that's better for side bend, if Baddha Konasana is a little cranky on low back. And pull the left hip back to rock you onto your seat over to the other side with a relaxed neck. Cross-legged seats, change the cross of your ankles. Walk left hand directly out from left hip. So if you're not sure where that is, look down. Hip is behind your knee. Go right out to the side. Nudge the right hip down and then tuck your tail in. Right arm, any position that feels like it's opening the right side body to breath. And yes, okay to come down onto left elbow if that feels effective to you. Pull right hip back and down to pull you back to center. Relaxed head and neck follow. Once again, straighten your legs out. Well, welcome everyone. I didn't cue props for this class, but if you have a blanket or a towel, we'll roll it up now. And if you have a yoga strap, we might use that later. Anything that can substitute for a strap, like the sash from your bathrobe, a necktie, a scarf, a towel, all works fine. All right. If you have a yoga blanket, unfold it once from the way you would find it in the studio, or at least in West Hartford Yoga. I know studios fold them differently. So it looks like a bath towel. If you have a bath towel, you might fold it into thirds from its long end so it's thick. The thick yoga blanket, just fold it once and then roll it up from its short end to make your yoga roll. You want it to be about the right size that when you put it between your thighs, your legs are hips width apart. Then just once you have it made, put it aside, come on down to your back and hug your knees into your chest. Breathe as you transition. And let's take a full minute to settle in here. So feel, do you want a pillow underneath your head? For a lot of the next poses we're doing, totally fine to have your head elevated a little bit. Or if you want extra padding underneath your spine, you can go ahead and rock out and or with your hands on your knees, circle your knees a couple times in one direction, a couple times in the other direction, and maybe a couple times in opposite directions, away from each other and back together. And for me, I can feel this is informing me that my chin wants to lift up, head wants pillow. If you can feel that for yourself too, the chin rising, the back of the neck caving up, I suggest putting something underneath your head. So back of the neck has some time to get long. Most of the day it's being pulled in its short position. I'll get quiet for a moment so you can feel into what's going on with your own body. This is a small group. If you have questions about suggestions to support your body lying on the ground, happy to play with you guys. Anything that you can take into real life the rest of your yoga classes? Cool. Let's plant some seeds. All right. Ideally, I want you to end up in a place where if your knees were over your hips, like in a chair, the sacrum, the back of the pelvis is comfortably planted into your mat. And the back ribs, if not down on the ground, at least can move towards that direction without crunching the low back down. So if your low back ribs are lifted a lot, more height underneath head or even head and shoulders. So maybe there's a blanket for both head and shoulders, and then my head's a little higher than my shoulders. And as we move into this abdominal exercise, if your low back needs more support, like low back wants to be on the mat, then maybe you put your hands or a blanket underneath your pelvis to tilt your pelvis. If you can do this without tilting the pelvis under, start there. Arms, any position they can relax. Bend your knees, feet can dangle down by your butt. Let's wiggle the toes a little bit, get some energy into the feet. Foot bones, tissues. Send your inhale breath into the low back ribs, down towards the ground. Straighten right leg to the ceiling. Exhale, pull low belly in, lower right leg forward. I'm not at all concerned how low it goes, just enough you can find low belly. Inhale, bring right leg back up to ceiling. Exhale, bend your knees. Inhale into low back ribs, extend left knee. Totally fine if it doesn't straighten all the way. Exhale, pull low belly in, lower leg a little or a lot, but keep the low back ribs heading to the ground. Inhale, lift your leg back up, low back ribs down. Exhale, bend your knees. Inhale, low back ribs, right leg up. Exhale, low abdominals in, lengthen and lower. Inhale, low back ribs, right leg up. Exhale, bend your knees, center. Inflate low back ribs, left leg extends. Exhale, hug low belly in, lower left leg. Inhale, low back ribs, left leg up. Exhale, bend your knees. Do 2 more like that to each side, following your own breath rhythm. Feeling in the movement, a full breath, and the maintenance of the integrity of your spine, your sacrum planted and your low back ribs heading towards earth. If you can feel that and you want to work 2 legs at the same time, those of us who are a little more of an intensity junkie, even in gentle yoga, you are welcome to feel into that for yourself. The action of low belly is supple, not necessarily tightening, but moving with the breath and engaging to support the heaviness of your leg. Once your rounds are complete, put your feet on the floor, put your roll that you made between your thighs, and then move anything that's underneath your head and neck out of the way. We're moving into half bridge lifts, and even though our hips won't come up so high, I really don't want extra pressure stressing your neck. Reinforcing our short neck, head forward, that life asks of us. Nice long relaxed necks. There's some space between your neck and the earth. The teeth are falling back in your mouth. Inhale, press your feet into the ground. Send your hips and the roll to the sky. Not really squeezing, just keeping it there. Exhale, sacrum back into the earth. Inhale, press the feet down to press hips up. Exhale, sacrum to earth. Continue 4 to 6 more breaths like that. And those of you who like a little heat building are welcome to stay in the bridge, driving your feet down for a few breaths. Active feet, very helpful here. Spreading your toes, lifting the 10 toes off the mat, but keeping the balls of the feet down and the heels down. Two more full breaths. When your rounds are complete, take the roll out, put it aside. You are welcome to put your pillow back underneath your head for banana pose. Straighten your legs out on your yoga mat. Option, if it's nice for your shoulders, reach the arms up overhead. Continue to breathe the low back ribs towards the earth. Take baby steps, feet walking over towards the left bottom corner of your mat. And then if it feels right to you, hook the left foot over the right ankle. If hooking doesn't feel good, just leave the feet unhooked. If your arms are up, take hold of your right wrist with your left hand. Inhale, traction the right arm bones up. Exhale, relax the right ribs down. Right hip heavy. Shoulders relaxed. Optional, cross right ankle over left. It's into a different part of the hip. Then release all the wrists, all the ankles, and take little baby steps, feet over to the right corner of mat. Option to cross right ankle over left. If the arms are up, option to catch the left wrist. Inhale, traction arm bones from shoulder. Just a gentle traction, not trying to pull the shoulder out of joint. Exhale, the left side body heavy towards the earth. Option to cross left ankle over right, changing ankles. Then release ankles, release wrists, walk your feet back to center. We'll open into pentacle, open your arms to a T, palms up. Walk your legs at least as wide as your yoga mat, maybe wider. Go slow so your hips don't cramp up. Keep breathing. And then this very expanded Shavasana type shape, pentacle. Let go. Walk your feet back to center. Slowly bend a knee at a time to roll over onto one side. And I'll talk through a transition towards standing. You are welcome to tune me out and follow your own breath and body cues as we head to standing. If you're with me, roll to your side, pressing to all fours. And here's where you may depart because you want to do some cat's cows or down dog. Or simply tuck your toes, walk your hands back towards your feet, and get your weight onto your feet. Dangle over your legs. Catch opposite elbows, knees soft, ears settling in between your arms.
Maybe a little sway. Option, neck traction. Interlace hands at the base of your skull. Your thumbs run down your neck, even rub the neck. Draw the elbows in towards your ears, and then relax your arms completely. So not pulling on the head, but gravity will traction the neck out. And then option, scalp traction. If you have enough hair on the top of your head that you can take hold of 2 clumps of hair right at the root, real close to your scalp. And then once you got hold of that, just relax the arms. Gravity drawing on the scalp, loosening its grip. It turns out that's a muscle. You might feel tension release around the jaw and the eyes, or even all the way down the spine. All right, ease your way up to standing. Standing into Tadasana, feet parallel to each other. Hands at heart center, couple sun breaths. Sorry if I just messed up your view. You can change it back to gallery and it won't interfere with mine. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, arms up. Exhale to your heart. Inhale, arms up. Exhale to heart. Half sun variation. Step your feet a bit wider. Keep them parallel. Inhale, arms up. Catcher stance. Bend your knees. Bring your hands or elbows onto your thighs. Tuck your tail. Release your chin down like you're going into a ball. Standing cat-cow. Inhale, look forward. Lift your tail up. Maybe the arms and legs straighten. That's fine. Exhale, go back into your ball. Tuck the tail under to stand up. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, samastitihi. One more like that together. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, catcher stance. Hands or elbows to thighs. Tuck chin, tuck tail. Inhale, look forward, lift your tail. Exhale, tuck chin, tuck tail. Keep tucking tail, push with your feet to rise. Inhale. Exhale. Your next 2 half suns might look like that, or maybe you step your feet closer together for the more traditional prep for Surya A. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, catcher stance or forward fold if you're in Tadasana. Inhale, half lift or standing cow tilt. Exhale, fold or standing cat. Tuck your tail. Inhale, rise. Exhale, samastitihi. Back to center. One more time. Inhale. Exhale, fold or come into catchers. Inhale, expand heart. Exhale, lengthen spine. Inhale, rise. Exhale, samastitihi. Half moon variation. Step your feet back into Tadasana. Maybe big toes come all the way together. For these side bend stretches, backing up so you can see my arms. I'll give different arm variations, but if you're working with shoulder tweakiness, disobey me. Listen to your shoulder instead. Left arm up. Turn the thumb forward so your palm rotates out to the side. Catch your left wrist. Inhale, lengthen left arm bone up. Exhale, lean to the right. Head rests right on the right arm. Think of moving out rather than trying to crunch down. Breathe into the left ribs, especially the ones right around your shoulder blade. Press down with your feet to come up. Change wrists. Inhale, rotate right hand out and traction arm bone up. Exhale, lean to the left. Send breath into the right ribs and right shoulder. Separate your back teeth. Come back to center, inhale. Exhale, relax your arms. Standing BB with the roll. Still have your rolled up blanket or towel? You can also substitute a foam yoga block for this, but I like the roll because it's round. Right between your thighs, close to pelvis. Backs of hands on the back of your hips around your sacrum. You can use your palms, your thumbs. These days, I often like to use fists so I can keep my wrists straight. Press the tail, the sacrum down. Inhale, lift the back bottom ribs up. Exhale, roll the shoulders back. Tweeze your elbows back. Inhale, lift the rib cage up. Exhale, ease the shoulder blades towards each other and down the back. Keep the chin tucked unless you know the head back variations. With each in-breath, telescope the rib cage up. The low ribs lift off the pelvis. The middle ribs expand off low ribs. The chest rises off the rib cage. Exhale, shoulders back. One more breath. If your upper spine went backwards, squeeze the roll. Pretend to send it down to the ground between your feet. Press your tail down. Breathe your heart forward. Take the roll away. Standing Ardha Chandrasana, variation 2. Optional, cross right foot over left. Just enough that you can squeeze the thighs. I don't care if your heel comes down or if your feet are in line. Bring the left arm up. This time, rotate the left hand in towards center, your thumb behind you, maybe even your palm behind you. Inhale, lengthen the left arm bone up. Exhale, lean to the right. Head on shoulder, squeeze your thighs, squeeze your glutes. Breathe the low back ribs up off your kidneys. Squeeze your thighs and glutes to pull you up with an inhale breath. Release the arms, release the legs. Cross left on top of right, or stay in Tadasana. You don't have to add the legs. Catch the right hand, wrapping the shoulder, turning the palm in behind you. In effect, your shoulder blade will seal up around your armpit, stabilizing. And then lean to the left. Hips might press to the right. Squeeze your thighs so it's like you've got one twisted but stable leg rather than two dancing legs. It's okay if your legs dance. We'll get to that next. Squeeze thighs, squeeze glutes. Inhale, center. Release the arms, release the legs. Stand in Tadasana. Yeah, let's do toe exercises real quick. One more time, cross right over left. Stay on the toes. Press your left knee into your right calf to stretch your foot. If you want to put your hands on a wall or a table or a chair, something to help you balance, you can really squeeze and stretch the front of that leg, that's fine. And change sides. Come onto the ball of the left foot. Press right knee into left calf to stretch that ankle. Watch out for the inner or the outer ankle rolling out. Press the inner ankle in. One more time, change legs. This time, come onto the toenail part of the foot. Bend left knee into right calf to stretch front of ankle. Keep pressing inner ankle in so you're not sickling. And change sides. Stand in Tadasana with your feet hips width apart. Lift and spread all the toes. Notice what your fingers do. And see if you can lift and lower just the pinky toe. And see if you can lift and lower just the big toe. Notice what your thumbs do. And lift and spread all the toes. Put down the pinky toe and the fourth toe and the middle toe and the second toe and the big toe. Lift and repeat. Like you're playing the piano with your toes. See if you can articulate one toe at a time, starting at pinky toe. After you do that 3 or 4 times, start at the big toe and roll out. No recital at the end of the year, so it's okay if it doesn't perfect. Keep breathing. And then relax your feet completely. One more exercise for the feet, our peroneals exercise. Hands on your hips. Shift your weight onto the left leg. So feel the whole left foot except for your nice lifted spread toes. The ball of the foot is grounded, the heel's grounded, and then pretend to pull the ball of the foot towards the heel a little bit so the arch engages. Now rooting down on the left foot, and you might need to put your hand on something to balance. Step the right foot forward, and then step it back. And forward and back. Stabilizing the left leg, especially from knee to ankle. So as you swivel around that leg, those outer leg muscles, outer calf muscles might start to heat up. Which is also, by the way, the muscle that creates your arch. So keep lifting your arch. And breathing. All right, change sides. Stabilize right foot. Spread your toes, ground the ball of the foot, ground the inner outer heel. Pull the ball of the foot slightly towards the heel, like you're scrunching up a little bit. Root down. Use something to balance so you can root if you like. And just swing left foot forward and back, revolving around that standing leg. So you can feel the muscles, lower leg, keeping you from falling over. It's okay if you wobble off your foot. Those are how the muscles learn. All right, come back to center. Find your roll, put it between your thighs. Hands on your hip bones, feet in Tadasana. Ooh, nice warm energized feet, rooted. Soften the knees. And real easy movement with your breath. Inhale, low back ribs. Lift your right hip up a little. And then your left hip. And go side to side like that a few times. It's a little bit, you'll feel the waist work. I don't know if you know Conan O'Brien's string dance where he's all like, a little bit of that action, but not so herky-jerky. Nice and yummy. And you can experiment with tucking your tailbone under or sticking your tail feathers out. Now feel your inner thighs massaging against the roll. Feel as if it's like a foam roller going up and down your adductors. And we'll do a 30-second dance party. You move any way that feels yummy to your hips, low back, inner legs, as we work the tension out of inner thighs. I'll be honest, I came to this variation this morning because I was having knee issues and I expected inner thigh and it helps. So I hope it helps your tissues as much. All right, wind your way back to center. Take the roll away. You feel like dancing now? Eagle variations, cross right over left. Option to bend the knees a lot. So maybe you come onto the toes, stick your tail feathers out. Flying eagle variation. Inhale, open your wings. Exhale, cross one arm over the other, self-hug. Inhale, spread your wings. Exhale, cross the other arm. Go back and forth 3 more times on each arm. Or if you prefer to just stay in the hug and stay in for 3 breaths on each side. This can be a very comforting shape. If the eagle legs bother you at all, especially with your awake adductors, come into Tadasana. And once this round feels complete, change legs. Stick your eagle tail out, squeeze your thighs. Inhale, open your heart, open your wings, and exhale, fold. 3 or 4 times on each side. Of course, if you spontaneously go into eagle arms, go with the flow. You can stick your tail against a wall too. That can sometimes stabilize. Just got to stick it out. All right, unwind. Let's do down dog on the wall or chair or couch or bed, whatever's available. If your hands are on the wall, stand with your hands right in front of your shoulders and then walk your feet back until your hands, your head, your hips are in one long line, your hips right over your heels. You might put your hands on something lower and then walk back till your spine is straight. It's okay if knees bent. And this feels okay for you, very mindfully. Heel toe, your feet wider. So turn the toes out and turn the heels out, and turn the toes out and turn the heels out. And end up, for me, it feels right to keep the toes turned in, the heels out, like the ski plow shape. Leaning hips back, breathe into low back ribs. Exhale, pull low belly in. If you want to release into your prasarita, wide-legged forward fold, of course you can walk down the wall and fold in, or stay in your down dog. Down dogs, mindfully heel toe your feet back in towards each other. Turn the toes in, turn the heels in, and then walk back towards the wall with a tucked chin. Watch your feet walk in to come up. If you're in prasarita, you can roll up from prasarita. Just keep your chin tucked just in case you don't know where the wall is. I don't want you to bunk your head on it. All right. Do you guys have a strap? We'll do shoulder flossing. If you have a strap, and if you don't, you'll do shoulder shrugging, or you can do arm circles. All right. Holding your strap, standing either in Tadasana. If you prefer to sit down on the ground or on a chair, that works fine. I want your spine to stay straight and steady because your arms are attached to like every vertebrae of your spine. So they will pull on your spine. But we're going to use the flossing to free that movement up so it doesn't impact your spine quite so much. Hold your strap twice your shoulders width apart, then relax your arms down. Inhale, spread the collarbones wide, expand low back ribs. Exhale, hug low belly in. Pull the strap gently taut. Inhale into low back ribs, lift your strap up overhead. And somewhere above your head or behind your head, there's that tight spot. Exhale through it. If you have to bend your elbows or bend your wrists, instead, widen your grip on the strap so your arms and wrists can stay straight. Relax your arms completely at the bottom. Then inhale, pull on the strap, arms up. And exhale through. Relax completely. Inhale, low back ribs, pull on the strap. Exhale through the tight spot. Go back and forth 3 or 4 more times. Not a long floss today. If this movement bothers the shoulders at all, you have rotator cuff injury, for example, then it might be more beneficial for you to simply roll the shoulders in one direction, roll the shoulders the other way. Now, sometimes tension that's moving on the shoulders will start to collect in the jaw. Notice what your bottom jaw is doing, or your tongue, and sigh it out if that's the case. Make as much noise as your space allows. Okay, keep expanding the back bottom ribs. And next time your arms come forward, release the, well, actually, next time arms come forward, relax. You can hold on to strap. We'll use it in a moment. Do a shoulder shrug or neck roll if there's residual tension that needs to move out. And then hold the strap behind you. Maybe the hands are close, maybe not. I want your wrists straight so you can pull on the strap and feel the shoulder blades dig into your upper back. If you're standing, you're welcome to widen your stance into a prasarita and fold. The challenge is if you're upside down, keep the shoulders away from your ears. And if you feel safe coming up in your bind, pretend someone's pulling you up by the straps and pretend to pull the feet, active feet, towards each other to help you up. And then relax your arms, relax your legs. Fancy pose, standing BB or camel with the strap and blanket. So if you don't have these yoga toys, remember before we did standing BB, grounding the pelvis, telescoping ribs up, shoulders back. You'll do that pose again, option head back. Or maybe you know camel, you're welcome to do this down on your knees, same exact pose. Here's what we're going to do, those of you guys who have your toys. Take your blanket, or if you have a towel, take your towel. In teacher training, we learn these with a dish towel. A yoga blanket is clearly much bigger than a dish towel, so this is the extreme end of this. It might be too big. But unfold your blanket like we did before we rolled it up. Fix my camera. Or unfold your towel and then fold it in half lengthwise, the long way. And lie your strap across the middle of it. I'm sorry, don't fold your strap towel in half. Leave it as wide as this. You want it wide. All right, with the strap in the middle of your blanket or towel, I'll give you a moment to set that up. Can you see what I did? Like that. Lie the strap across it, and then fold your blanket or towel over your strap, and then roll it up. So it looks like one of those seat belts with the extra padding. This will go like a neck rest for an airplane, right across your shoulders, across your neck. Hold your straps in your hand. Again, you can be standing or you can be on your knees. If you're not sure about your low back, then stand up. And of course, if you're not sure about knees, stand up. Cross your heart. Cross the straps in front of you. Change your grip so you're holding the cross straps. And then bring your hands to your hips or even to the backs of your hips if your strap is long enough. Good. Standing BB. Press your hips down. Inhale, telescope your rib cage up. Exhale, ease the shoulders back. Rest your head here. And just like before, the focus is on inhaling. Oh, I have no idea where my microphone is. Could you hear any of that? Inhale, lift your whole rib cage, your sternum up like that full moon out there, like you're shining the full moon right on your heart center. And your head and neck can relax completely. And I'll give you guys some time and quiet, because if you found a really yummy place where there's zero gripping in neck and jaw, luxuriate in that place. If you're in a much less supported posture, press down onto your hips and breathe your heart forward. Let your head fall over its back. And transition either into cat-cows or if being on hands and knees is no good for you, come to a sitting position and do a gentle side-to-side sway. And eventually start to fold. I had a fun hamstring series to finish with, but we'll have to save that for next week. Those of you in the supported camel, you're welcome to stay for the next 2 minutes if you want. Those of you heading towards relaxation, option to set yourself up on an incline. Maybe you have a square bolster. Maybe you have a blanket or two that you can stack. Lie that either across middle mat, or if you're going to spend your whole Shavasana on it, go put it against the wall and tune me out, get yourself set up. If you're doing it with the middle of the mat, we'll take a moment in tabletop over it and cat-cow, or do free form movements, wag your tail. And come to neutral. Put your right hip on your roll. Yoga block works fine, by the way, too. You might put your hip on a yoga block. Just practice coming down mindfully. Crawl out with your arms to lie your right side body on the ground. And very slowly roll onto your back so your sacrum settles on the roll or on your bolster. This is annoying, but we'll do this one more time. Roll onto your left side. Press your palms into the ground. Keep your neck relaxed. As you press up to sitting, maybe to all fours. And we'll practice coming down again. Sit with left hip on the bolster. Ease yourself down onto your left side. Ease your head to the ground and roll onto back of skull, back of shoulders, and sacrum. And if you're in a place where you want to mindfully practice getting up and down instead of inverting, continue that. It's a precious skill to learn how to transition in yoga and in life in a way that feels good to your body. Those of you inverting, pick one foot up the floor at a time until both knees are up. Then extend legs to the sky or keep your knees bent. Legs are up and it feels safe to touch big toes together. Soften your eyes or close them. Gaze from third eye to big toenail. If you've set yourself up in an inversion on the wall or bed, you might relax the legs completely and settle into Shavasana. Now feel for the spaces around your toes. And as if there's like a warm, yummy, honey-like golden liquid pouring over your toes. Feel the warmth cascade over your arches, down your inner legs, to your pelvis, your soft hip joints, pooling in your grounded sacrum. And then warmly running up the low back, the back on the earth. Breathe it in as it fills up your heart center. Exhale, relax your throat and taste the honey-like deliciousness moving from your throat all the way around your eyes and into your brain. If you're in a place where you can stay, settle in. Otherwise, bend your knees. Put a foot on the floor at a time. Maybe just scooch the hips up or lift the hips up so you can move your bolster underneath your thighs and knees to rest. And if you're in a place where you can continue to rest, give yourself permission to do so. If you're ready to return, start by deepening the breath in your heart, in your chest, rising and falling. And let that growing breath cue you up to sitting with ease. May our practice benefit not only us, may practice benefit all beings in all the world, that we may know peace, be happy, healthy, safe. Namaste.